Hi everyone, Evan from Find My Ancestry here, and in this video I'm going to show you 10 things that you can learn using U.S. Federal Census records about your ancestors. U.S. Federal Census records started being taken in 1790. They're done every 10 years. The only years that are available are 1790 through 1880, and then 1900 through 1940. Almost all of the 1890 census was destroyed in a fire. There are some really small sections still available, but almost the whole thing was lost, unfortunately. And then only up to 1940 because there's a 72-year rule about records being released. So as of the year of this video I'm recording, 2019, the 1950 census is not available yet, but in a few years it will be available. So I already have pulled up on FamilySearch.org this indexed information along with the image of the 1940 census for my paternal grandfather. And I'm just going to go through the 10 things that you can find using census records using this example. Now, some census records have more information than others. For instance, in 1790, the census record really only counted the free white males. Only their names would be on there, and then the others would just be how many of each type of person were in the house. But as you get into later years, you can find a lot more information. Doesn't mean those old census records should be ignored, but for this purposes of this example, I'm just going to show you what you can find using this type of census record. So first things first, pretty obvious, but you can find the birth date and or age of the person in the census. So you can see right here it says age 11 and the event date is 1940. So from there we can estimate that he was born around 1929. Now depending on the month the census is taken and the birthday, the year can vary a little bit, but it gives you a pretty solid estimate within 1 or 2 years typically. And that's number one. So for number two, birthplace. Come down here, I can see birthplace is Indiana, and that also tells you the citizenship. Now on other census records, typically in the 1800s, there might even be a question that you'll find that will say the number of what they called foreigners not yet naturalized in the household. And that can tell you more about citizenship as well, but that's on some older examples of census records. The third thing you can find from a census record is the sex of the person you're looking at. So right here we have listed as male. Number 4 is race, and you can almost always find race on a census record. And number 5 is family members. And I love this because you can find out so much about a family using census records, more than just the person that you're looking at. Right here in the household, we have his father, his siblings, and then Eliza J. Jones. Now, the sixth thing I want to tell you about is the relation to head of household that you can find in census records. So all of these roles right here are all related to the head of household. So I'm looking at this census record for my grandfather, and down here it says Eliza Jones is the mother-in-law. That doesn't mean she's the mother-in-law of my grandfather. She is the mother-in-law of the head of household. So all of these roles that you'll see are in relation to the head of household. So Robert is the son, Doris is the daughter, and William is the son of the head of the household, and Eliza is the mother-in-law of Virgil Franklin. So the relationship to head of household is number 6. Number 7 is education, and for that I'm going to have to show you the actual image of the census record. I already have it open in this next window. I have this zoomed in using this handy plus sign over here on education, and you can see the categories, the little boxes: attended school or college in the time since March 1st, 1940, and it's a yes or no. A highest grade of school completed, and then a code that was for the census record to use, so the census taker to use, so you don't have to pay too much attention to that. My family is all the way down at the bottom of this image, so I'm going to scroll down to show you. This is him, Virgil Franklin. He has not attended school within the past year. Not surprising because his age here is listed as 49. And then his highest level of school completed is an H-3. I am pretty sure that means he's completed up to 3 years of high school. I'm just making an educated guess there. So that's it for education, number 7. And then residence is number 8. And obviously, we'll tell you the residence where they're currently living in the year of the census. I'll scroll up here to show you that. The state, Indiana, county, Monroe, incorporated place, Bloomington City, township is Perry. And then there are these other categories that may or may not be filled out: the ward, the block numbers, unincorporated place, and institution. And if we pull this over here, it will tell you more about their residents as of 1935. So we can see where they were actually living 5 years ago before the census was taken. It can show you the city, the county, the state, whether or not it was on a farm. And then again, this is a code just for the census taker. So let's scroll all the way down to the bottom to see the answer for my family in this census. And they were in the same house in Monroe County, and no, they were not on a farm. All right, and the last thing I'm going to tell you about, and it's actually not on this census record, but you'll see it on other census records, previous ones. It will say parent's birthplace. There'll be another section. It will say place of birth, and then say mother's place of birth, father's place of birth. And I love that because even though you can't always find the name of the parents of the people listed on census records, you can see their birthplace. And that tells you a little bit about the person's life. It might say that my grandfather was born in Indiana, but his parents were born in Scotland or Germany or some other country. And then you can kind of go from there and do a little bit more research as to that. So that's just 10 things that you can learn from a census record. There are actually a lot more, but I just want to make this video to show you how rich this census record can be as a resource. You can spend a lot of time just on one census record extract. And an extract is a sheet, a blank sheet that has all the information that a census record has on it, and you can hand fill out the information pertaining just to your family. And that's it for this video. I hope it helped you. Hope you enjoyed it. Please tune in next time for our next tutorial. And as always, happy hunting.